Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to mention is the S&P 500, and I don't necessarily think that we have a signal here yet, but it was very interesting to see how we closed at the end of the session. We came back quite drastically, and late in the day, that typically means you are looking at institutional money. It wasn't a shot higher, but it was a grind higher. So I think we're going to have to pay attention in Asia, and I'll get to that here in a second, for signs of stability. If we get that, then I think it's risk on again. Quite frankly, this was a lot of noise about Trump talking about whether or not the trade deal had to be signed between now and the election, and really, at the end of the day, I don't think much has changed. But I do recognize that a lot of fear has come into the market. So, people pay attention to that. People love drama, and you will see plenty of that in the financial markets, unfortunately. So, let's go ahead and switch over to gold. Gold had a good day, as one would expect. Um, we have bounce from this area here at 1450. That is a ascending triangle that I think still has a certain amount of pertinence to it. I do think, however, the upside's limited, at least in the short term. Now, headlines could change that. So at this point, if we break 1500 in gold, then I think you can buy with a stop loss of 14.95, and you can aim for 15.12. Okay, that's trade one. The more likely trade, for me at least, is probably a breakdown. But that's not a tradable event. I think we are trying to form a little bit of a base here. I think silver is going to be very similar. You can see that I have the three impulsive moves highlighted. If we can break above 1750 ish, 1765, then we have a trade. Otherwise, I think we're probably going to struggle. So if we break above there, that means we've had an extraordinarily huge move. But your stop loss would be 1748. And at that point, you would be aiming for $18. This is probably a trade that's going to show up 2 or 3 days down the road. Oil, leave alone. There's that OPEC meeting. I got some questions about that today. That OPEC meeting could cause God knows what type of chaos. Natural gas, I called that out in the room today for Dale specifically, but I know some of you pay attention to it as well. I suspect that we probably move higher. Um, 245 could be your entry price. 255 your target. Stop loss 240. Now, in Dale's case, I suspect he's going for a bigger move. So his fight is going to be here. If we can clear 260, then we're looking at 275. Will it go higher than that? I think so, eventually. But we have a couple snowstorms in America right now helping the situation. The way that this is sawtooth this winter, though, I expect this to be a trade that, will probably go up, we'll probably pull back, and then we'll get another leg higher. That's what I expect, say, over the next 4 or 5 days. Okay, so back to the British pound. I think we're going to dick around here around 130, so I'm going to ignore it unless we can break above, 130.40. We're probably clear. I'd be a buyer then. Stop loss of 129.90, and I'd start looking for 133. Now, until the elections are done, this is probably going to be a very difficult trade to take. New Zealand Swiss has gapped higher to kick off the week and formed another couple of negative candlesticks. This is not a good look, by the way. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I anticipate that we're going to go down here and try to fill this gap. Now, that being said, there's always the alternate scenario, and that is a break above these candlesticks. So at 64.60, I'd be a buyer New Zealand Swiss, and I would be aggressive about it too. I might even trade a bigger position than usual. That doesn't mean go buck wild, but if you normally buy like a 10,000 unit position, maybe a 12,500, something like that, and then you're looking for a move to 66, which is right about here. We may get a pullback first, so this may be in the video tomorrow as well. It may be one of these deals where we pull back and then we show signs of support here at 64, and then I will probably just buy it at a lower level, but I'll see how that plays out. So dollar yen is stabilizing in Asia, and this is part of what I was talking about. We're going to have to wait to see whether or not it happens. So far, it is. It is currently 8:41 in Hong Kong and 8:41 at night here. So really, at this point, we're testing this area here. So I think if we can break 108.60, that's a good sign for all markets. I'd even be willing to take a position here with a stop loss down here at 108.30. And I think at that point, you're looking at a potential move to 109.15. You can make an argument for a bit of an uptrending channel. And even though we had that chaos during the trading session, the Asians have not lost it. So that's worth paying attention to. You figure there'd be a lot of follow through. We're just not seeing it. So I think things may turn around here rather quickly. Now, having said that, I don't know what my president is going to tweet or say next. So there's that. But that's what I've got for you so far.